Welcome to a new guitar tutorial. It seems that 1971 was a real good year for iconic rock albums. In one of the last lessons we had to look at Stairway to Heaven, which was released in 1971. And today we have a look at an album by one of my favorite bands and one of my favorite guitar players and composers. I'm talking about The Who, and I'm talking about Pete Townshend, and they released their album Who's Next in 1971. And we're going to check out the second song of the album, which is called Bargain. If you're interested in sheet music, you can go to my Patreon page. There you can download a full transcription, including tabs and regular notation. And if you enjoyed the lesson, please hit subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like. And if you have any questions or something else to say, drop me a line in the comments. In the original version of the song, the guitar is tuned down a half step, so if you want to play along with the original version, you have to tune down the E to E flat, the A to A flat, the D to D flat, the G to G flat, and the B to B flat, high E string also down to E flat. But for this tutorial I was using the standard tuning, because it's always a little bit annoying to tune down a Strat with a floating drum system on it. And in the original version there were also a bunch of guitars happening, and I guess some of them are played with a capo on it. But for this tutorial I will show you a version which you can play with one guitar without capo or anything like that. The intro of the song starts with a B7 sus4 chord. We bar the second fret, starting on the A string, and then we add the third finger on the fourth fret of the D string and the fourth finger on the fifth fret of the B string. And we're playing the strumming pattern 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we're changing to B7 chord. Here we have only used the fourth finger on the fourth fret of the B string, and we're playing the same strumming pattern. Then we're going back to the B7 sus4 chord. And then we end on the B7 chord again, which is held for 2 bars. So the complete intro section. And then the verse part starts, and the verse starts with a B power chord. We have the second fret of the A string and the fourth fret of the D and the G string. And before this B power chord, Pete Townshend is most of the time playing a little pickup using the open strings. And then this B power chord is held for a bar or a little bit longer. And then we're going to an A power chord and then down to an E power chord. A power chord is the open A string and the second fret of the D and the G string. And the E power chord is the open E string and the second fret of the A and the D string. So the basic chords of the verse part are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3. And before going to the A and the E power chord, there are some dead notes happening. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. So we have either a dead note on beat 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and, or dead notes on 1 and on 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. This is always played a little bit different, so feel free to use these dead notes as you like to. Then these 2 bars I showed you are repeated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And on the third time, we're once again on this B power chord. We hold this chord for one bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. On one end, we're picking the chord again. Then we're doing a pull off with the fourth finger. So we leave only the barred finger on. And then we're going down to the open A string. And then we're going to a D chord, open D string, second fret of the G string, third fret of the B string, and second fret of the high E string. So this part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then we're going to an E chord, first fret of the G string, second fret of the A, and second fret of the D string. And first we're only hitting the low E string, and then the high E and the B string. 1, 2, 3. And then there's a fill in. Fill in starts with the 12th fret of the B string. We're sliding into the 12th fret of the B string, and we're picking the B string and the high E string. Then we're going down to the 10th fret of the B string, and we're also adding the high E string, and then down to the 9th fret. And to all the notes, the high E string is added. And then we're going down to the 7th fret, 5th fret, and the 3rd fret. So the complete fill-in starting on the E chord. And then we're in the next verse part. So the complete first 8 bars of this verse part. 2, 3, 4, 1. And then this part starts one more time. And the first difference is when we're going to the D chord, we're starting on the B again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Doing the pull-off in the same way, but now we're going directly to this D chord on 2 and on 3 and. We're staying on this D chord and picking the high E string and the B string. So these 2 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're going to the E chord again, and then there's a different fill-in. So we're starting one more time on the E chord, picking the low E string, and then picking the high E and the high B string. And then we're going to the second fret of the G and the B string, followed by the high E string again. Then we're going up to the 3rd fret of the B and the 4th fret of the G string. Once again followed by the high E string, and then we're going back down to the 2nd fret of the G and the B string, followed by the high E string again. And then we're going back to the low E string and back to the E chord. So the complete fill-in. One more time. And then we're in the chorus section, and the chorus section goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're starting on an open G power chord held for 1 bar. We have the 3rd fret of the low E string. We mute the A string, open D string, open G string, and the 3rd fret of the B and the high E string held for 1 bar. Then going to an A power chord, open A string, 2nd fret of the D and 2nd fret of the G string. And then we're going to an E chord again, which is held for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want, then we pick this E chord again. We hold it for another 2 bars. And then there's an interlude section. And the interlude section goes like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. We bar the 2nd fret of the A, the D and the G string, and we're picking the D and G string. Then we're going up to the 4th fret of the D and the G string, and then we're going down to the 2nd fret of the A string. And this lick is played 3 times. So we're starting on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. After that we're doing a slide starting on the 4th fret of the A string up to the 6th fret of the A string. Then we're going up to the 4th fret of the D string. Then we're going to the 6th fret of the D string and doing a slide up to the 9th fret of the D string. Then we're going to the 7th fret of the G string. And here we're doing a bluesy bend, going back down to the 9th fret of the D string again. So the complete interlude part. Then we're picking the open A string, going back to the 2nd fret of the A string again. Repeating this lick down there for 2 more times. And then we have one more time the 2nd fret of the A string, and then we end on the 2nd fret of the D and the G string. So one more time the complete interlude part. And then we're in the 2nd verse part, and the 2nd verse goes like this. Basically the same part as the 1st verse. There's only a difference in the fill-ins that are played. The fill-ins starting on the E chord. The first fill-in goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the fill-in starts with a slide in the 5th fret of the B string and 1, then there's the open E string, then we're going up to the 7th fret of the B string, then once again picking the high E string, then up to the 9th fret of the B string, once again with the high E string, and then we're going up to the 10th fret of the B string, and the whole thing ends on the 12th fret of the B string, played together with the high E string. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Complete with the E chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the second half of the verse is also played in the same way. There's also only a difference in the fill-in that is played. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So here we're starting on the 2nd fret of the G string, going up to the high E string. Then we're sliding up to the 4th fret of the G string, and then we have one more time the high E string, and then we're ending on the 3rd fret of the B string. Complete with the E chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're in the next chorus section. G chord again, A chord again, E chord again, and then there's another little interlude section. 1. Here we're starting on the 2nd fret of the E string and the 3rd fret of the B string, and we're doing some bluesy bendings for 4 times. 1 and 2 and 3. And then we're doing a pull-off from the 3rd fret of the B string down to the 2nd fret of the B string. And then we pick these 2 strings for 3 more times. 1 and 2. And then we keep the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string, and we're doing a pull off to the open B string. 1. Then we pick these 2 strings for 2 more times. And then we're doing a hammer on to the 2nd fret of the B string again, and then we remove this finger and play the open B string in the 2nd fret of the E string twice. So one more time, these complete 2 bars. Then we repeat this bend, 2nd fret of the E string and 3rd fret of the B string, going down to the 2nd fret of the B and 2nd fret of the E string, and then going down to the open B string and 2nd fret of the high E string. Then we have the 1st fret of the G string, and then the open B and the 2nd fret of the E string again. One more time. Then we're going down to the 2nd fret of the D string, then 4th fret of the A string, doing a slide to the 5th fret, and then we have the open G string, 4th fret of the D string, and then we bar the 2nd fret of the D and the G string. So this the 2nd half of this interlude lick. And one more time the complete interlude. And then we're in the bridge section, and the bridge starts with an arpeggiated guitar part. We are starting on an E chord. We have the second fret of the D string and the first fret of the G string and the open B and the open E string, and the arpeggio goes like this. We're starting on the D string, G string, B string, high E string, going down to the B string again, G string again, B string again, and G string again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're going to an E chord with a D sharp in the bass. We move the second finger to the first fret of the D string, and we add the third finger on the first fret of the G string, and we still have the open B and open E string, and we're playing the same picking pattern. Then we're going to a D at 9 chord. Here we bar the second fret of the G, the B and the high E string, and we add the fourth finger on the fifth fret of the B string. And now the picking pattern starts once again on D string. Same picking pattern, but played twice. Then we stay on this chord, but we change the root note. We don't pick the D string, we pick the A string. And then back to the D string as root note again. So once again this part, starting on the D at 9 chord. Play 2 times. Then with an A in the bass. And then once again for 2 times with the D in the bass. And these 8 bars are played twice. After these 8 bars, we're going to an F sharp chord. We bar the second fret, and we add the second finger on the third fret of the G string, third finger on the fourth fret of the A string, and fourth finger on the fourth fret of the D string. And the picking pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And after these 2 bars, we're going up to B sus4 chord. Here we bar the 7th fret, and we have the second finger on the 9th fret of the A string, the third finger on the 9th fret of the D string, and the fourth finger on the 9th fret of the G string. And we're playing the same picking pattern, but now we're changing the chords between this B sus4 chord and a B major chord. Here we stay with the second finger barred on the 7th fret, with the first finger barred on the 7th fret, and we add the second finger on the 8th fret of the G string, the third finger on the 9th fret of the A string, and the fourth finger on the 9th fret of the D string. So these are the 2 chords, and we're playing the same picking pattern: 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And these two chords are played 3 times. So these complete 8 bars, starting on the F sharp major chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And now the part that we'll play during the intro of the song is repeated with the B7 sus4 and the B7 chord. But now we stay here in the 7th position with our barred first finger, and we add the 9th fret of the A string and the 9th fret of the G string with the 3rd and the 4th finger. And we're changing between this B7 sus4 chord and the B7 chord, where we change the 4th finger to the 2nd finger on the 8th fret. And here we are playing the same picking pattern that we played during the intro of the song. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and so on. This part is played 4 times. On the 4th time we're staying on this B7 chord for 2 bars. And then we're in the next verse part, and the next verse is played in the same way as the verses before. There are only other fill-ins. So the next verse starts on the B chord again. Here we're starting with a double stop bend. We have the 12th fret, or we hold the 12th fret of the B string, and we're doing a bending on the 11th fret of the G string. Then we bar the high E string with our 4th finger on the 12th fret, then 12th fret of the B string again, and then we're doing a rebend on the 11th fret. After that we're going down to the open G string, which might be hit by accident. Then we have the 9th fret of the G string, and then we bar the G string and the B string on the 9th fret. So this complete fill, 2, 3, 4. And complete with the E chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this verse riff is repeated one more time with another fill-in at the end, starting on the E chord. So we have the low E string, high E string, sliding to the 5th fret of the B string, going down to the 3rd fret of the B string, down to the 2nd fret of the B string. Then we're going back up to the 3rd fret of the B string, high E string and the 3rd fret again. And then going down to the 2nd fret of the B string again, and back to the high E string again. And after that, we're picking the low E string twice. And then we're back in the next chorus section with our G chord. So one more time, the complete fill in. And then we have this G chord again, A chord again, E for 2 bars, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now this E chord is held for 4 bars. And then picked one more time, held for another 2 bars. And after this longer chorus section, there's a guitar solo which is played over the riff of the verse part, and you can use the B major or B minor pentatonic to improvise over the section. And then there's a long outro section which uses the same chords as the intro of the song with some ad-lib riffs played over it. This was the rhythm guitar part of Bargain by The Who. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please hit subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell, leave a like, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.